Hello, it's the Daily Hose here, and today I'm going to be ranking up in ladder with Elemental Aggro. So the deck here is, if this is gonna load, okay. So the deck, I have 3 Scorch Spitters in here. I have 3 Shocks. Let me actually put in one more Scorch Spitter. I think that's idea. 3 shocks, 1 healer of the glade. It can come in handy sometimes against other aggro matchups. 2 fire prophecies because it's 3 damage is a good amount just for removal. I don't want removal beyond these 2 burn spells, but it also lets me get back up if I don't have great things on my hand because obviously this is an aggro deck. Then I have Underworld Ragehound. It's an elemental, so actually I think every single creature now in this deck is an elemental, and this is a 3/1 for only 2 mana. With the escape, actually comes in handy a lot. 2x Vivian's Arcbow, which isn't usually included in this archetype, but I think it's actually does a really good job in keeping the deck rolling. If you run out of steam, then you can use your mana on something. Like let's say you get flooded, maybe you can look for creatures. Okay, Creeping Trailblazer. This is the single most important card in the deck. It buffs all the other elementals. You want this opening hand. This is great. Gives everything else +1/+0, which is huge. Cloud Concealer, some card draw, flying is big, already has some good power, and that can be further increased by the Creeping Trailblazer. Frostlinks, another thing not usually included in these decks, but in this case I chose to include it because it can do a good job tapping opponents' creatures. It's just really good, not just in case they would do a lot of damage to me and I want to hold out, but also because it can tap down a potential blocker for a lot of extra damage. Then here we have Chandra. Obviously, this is huge card. It's just such a good card. It can be used in so many different varieties, but right now, in this deck, we use it for its 0 mana ability, which is create 2 1/1 red elemental creatures, and they gain haste. So that's just an amazing card for this deck. So that's great. And then we have Overgrowth Elemental, one of that. It's just a really good mid to like after I get all these things going, Overgrowth Elemental is great. And then we have 1 Living Twister. This is really good late game because I could use my extra lands to start dealing more damage in case I run out of steam. 2 Risen Reef. Obviously, Risen Reef is very good for card draw. You don't know what this does. Whenever it or another elemental enters, you basically get to draw a card. But if it's a land, you can put it down tapped. 2 Omnath. This is a really good finisher. Also removal. Embercleave. I mean, like it's Embercleave. And then we've got a Perforos's Intervention, where you get to create an elemental, but mainly I use it for the removal that represents, which is pretty cheap for a good amount of damage. And then my mana base, if you want to pause the video here, you can look at that, but I'm not going to spend too much time going through it. And let's get into some ranked games. So yeah, standard ranked is what we will be playing. See what our matchup is here. So a Johnny Avatar. Um, sometimes Johnny Avatars are not the best of players. Sorry if you're in a Johnny Avatar out there, but I mean, yeah, they're interesting. So this is a fairly good hand. I wish I had green, but we've got removal and we have this key card. But I think we green is one of our most important manas. This is a much better hand because we can fetch green with this. I can put back, probably the Embercleave will be put back. Sadly, we don't get to go first. This deck, it's pretty important to go fast, but luckily we have a fairly fast hand. It would be nicer if one of these was, oh, well, that's good. It would be nicer if one of these was a forest, because then we could get Scorch Spitter out first turn, Creeper Trailblazer out next turn, but we could just do that in our time. Luckily we have Shock, because it looks like we're against mono white life gain, so Shock's very good against a Johnny's Primate if we can get it out. Should have drawn that a turn earlier. It's okay. So we're gonna pretty straightforward play, which is it's good also because it prevents them from attacking with the Alseid. I just gotta hope they don't have a Johnny's Primate, because if they have a Primate, I'm not gonna have Shock open. Although they might not choose to attack. This is interesting. They must have a buff, right? I'm gonna let that through because they wouldn't do that otherwise. Interesting decision on their part. I'm not sure exactly why they did that. So here, I think it's best if we shock in Steam Vents so that we can play Scorch Spitter, and then we can also play Shock if they a Johnny's Primate, because we can afford to take a bit of damage. By the time we're taking lots of damage from them, we've lost the game, most likely. This is okay. It looks like they don't have them. Okay, they could have. That's to be expected. It's worth it to save our Trailblazer. Yeah, if they have a Primate, that's not great, but it's just so worth it to save our. Okay, a Daxos. That's not bad. That's not bad. That can be dealt with. That's a good draw there. Yeah, we got to get back up. I probably should have actually played the land after, but in this case, it didn't make a difference. I'm not gonna attack into the Daxos. Hopefully, that can be removed at some point, or maybe I could draw a Frostlynx, because then I could tap down the Daxos, and that would be nice. Oof. Oh, we're getting flooded. But at least, oh no, we got that thing. This is quite unfortunate circumstances. We're gonna have to start letting damage on that through until we draw something that could deal with it. Unfortunately. Yeah, that's to be expected. But you know, what can you do? It's mono white life gain. That's probably one of the worst matchups of this deck. Orzhov life gain is not that bad of a matchup with this deck. Now that is a solid draw. That is why I have Arcbow in this deck. So since I don't need all these lands, obviously the discard effect isn't a big deal at all. We just gotta get something good. Another Trailblazer would be nice, because then this would get enough power. Cloudkin works too. My gosh, the mana screw. So we're gonna save these two Cloudkins for when the Angel of Vitality attacks, because we do not want that thing getting more damage. He is going to attack with it. I might want to get one attack out of these Cloudkins. If I want to do that, I should have attacked. It's worth it to just do this, to be honest. I don't know if that's a misplay or not. That's annoying. I think that should. I don't know. That's nice. That is nice. See what we draw out here. If it's a land, I'm probably gonna put it into my hand because then we can play the island untapped and use the land for Arc-Bow fuel. It's not a land. It's a fairly decent card. Because it'll provide a blocker for all of these. That's good. And then I can also start dealing damage. Nice. I can next turn get rid of that. I'm not gonna drop a land here, because again, all these extra lands could be Arc-Bow fuel. So I'm hopefully gonna start removing everything one by one using the Living Twister. And it'd be really nice to actually draw into uh the what's it? So I'm trying to think. It'd be really nice to draw into the Frostlinks. Frostlinks would be great. Still not sure why she's holding that goopy thing. These eyes. It is cool art though. Alright, here we go. Here's where it starts. Here's where the life gain starts. I mean, what can you do? I personally am not a fan of life gain. That's nice. I think I'm gonna grab a red here. To untap a land is Control Z if you're not aware. Yeah, we're gonna grab a mountain. And then this guy is going to hopefully take part in killing her. Another one. Nice. And then I'm chopping Chandra to start putting pressure because either they take damage and then they either ooh, nice. They either have to take damage. Nice again. All right. They either have to take damage, or they, I guess, need to sacrifice some of their little guys. So I'm gonna return that to my hand. So that next turn, I can discard it. We're gonna put a little bit of pressure on them. Not too much, just enough to keep them on their toes. taking the damage. Okay. Interesting. There it is. They will gain life. We're probably gonna double discard lands next turn to get rid of that. Living Twister is just a situationally very good card. Okay. This is gonna be pretty annoying with all these soldiers, but at least they don't have enough lands to escape it. Oh shoot. I'm not gonna be able to just I might have to I might actually seriously go for the triple land discard because I don't need all of these lands. So I'm gonna pay one. I'm gonna also tap that to return this to my hand. So there's two, and then I'll tap that and play Rage Hound. Some nice card draw. I'm gonna decline that so I don't have to do one of those. Oh, I forgot about this. It costs a fair amount, so I'm gonna have to just Arc Bow. No, Cloudkin. And I hope if he does attack, I'll just multi block. Because getting rid of that Pride Mate is top priority. I don't want to have to start chump blocking. That's good because I could drop that next turn and do the triple if he decides not to attack. So there is a reason why I'm not playing lands here. Oh, I forgot to do this part. So do they have anything I'd like to shock? What did Elspeth do for one? Do I shock Elspeth? I think I shock Alcide. Okay, I'm gonna cast this shock from my graveyard using Chandra. On the outside. Oops. At least it doesn't exile. But I just -2'd that for nothing. Awesome. Oh, it's unfortunate. It's okay. We don't need the loyalty on our Chandra, although it's unfortunate that I didn't think of that as a big misplay. But it's not the biggest I could have made. And we have another Chandra anyway. Wasn't Elspeth on Alara? How did she get to Theros? I don't know, maybe that's just me. Are they gonna try to go for a big attack? They could. They could. This isn't looking up for us. Just gotta see what they do. This map doesn't really have any interactive things on the sides. I'm pretty sure there's, yeah, this thing that comes. Tapping it. Is he gonna rope us? He may rope us out. So yeah, I am only silver tier right now, but I'm hoping to change that at some point. Last season I was gold. I've never been above gold 3. Gold 3 I think is the highest I've ever been. But I mean, I've got a lot of time during quarantine, so I'm hoping to maybe get a little bit more magic. And unfortunately, I can't play in the pre-release for Ikoria at my LGS, as most of you can't either, which is unfortunate. But that's circumstances happen. Circumstances do happen, and yep. Okay, this guy's roping us out. I could go for an attack here if he's roping us. Would I be able to? Yeah, I'd be able to play Embercleave. Here's the rope. Here is the rope. So you can see what Creeping Trailblazer does, because this deck does kind of go wide if the game lasts too long. It just gets so much extra damage. Don't underestimate this. Other elementals get +1/+0. So this is my favorite deck. This is my ladder deck. I love elementals. I do. What can I say? Teamer. I'm a simple man. Teamer elementals makes me happy. Give him the hello. Obviously, he's AFK. And there we go. So, kind of an interesting way to win. But let me know what type of decks you want to see me play in the future. And bye for now.